In this video, I thought we'd do something a little unusual compared to what I normally make content about. As I'm currently making this video, I'm in New York awaiting a flight, so I don't have enough time to do an in-depth video on a dividend holding. So instead, I thought we'd do something different, where I'll react to various comments made by people about me and my content, and I'll give my response to each one. It's a popular genre of YouTube videos that's been around for a long time, but to my knowledge, I don't know if anyone in the finance sector has ever made a video where they address mean or negative comments towards them, which honestly more of them should. I'm going to be looking at both the comments section from various videos that I have, as well as Reddit to see what criticisms people have had about my content. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. This first comment is going to come from Reddit, where user ICGriff1047 asked, "I've been following dividend data for a while now. What do you fellow investors think of his advice? Is it worthwhile to listen to?" User Archmagos Belisarius responded, "He's not bad. He gives decent overviews of the companies in his portfolio. He lacks valuations in his analysis, which has caused him to buy some overvalued companies, and he sees a subsequent loss, but due to them being quality, he should be fine in the long run." And then after saying this, Arch gave some opinions on several other YouTubers, which he said, "Dividend bull, stay away, chases yield traps." For reference, a yield trap is a dividend stock or an ETF that offers a yield that's generally considered to be too good to be true and is likely unsustainable by most people. To people who think I'm a yield chaser, which is someone who invests in the highest yielding stocks without considering their safety or their long-term sustainability of their dividends, I think they just haven't watched enough of my content. There's a lot of examples of investments that I do consider to be yield tracks that I don't recommend. At no point have I ever been a fan of Armor Residential REIT, which is an M-REIT that yields 14.5%. The typical dividend range of an M-REIT I'd consider to be between 8% and 12% on the high end. Anything more than that I would consider to be pretty darn risky. There's plenty of examples where I haven't recommended an ultra-high yielding stock because I thought they were unsafe, including Orchid Island Capital and Annaly Capital. I've also never been a big fan of the current lineup of YieldMax ETFs, at least in terms of being a good long-term holding. So I do disagree with being called a yield chaser. My goal is to pick high-yielding investments that aren't overly risky or unsustainable. Next we have John Yosarian, who asks, "Does this channel use a robot voice for the narration? If it doesn't, why does the narrator sound like a robot?" I've been seeing a lot more of these comments recently because probably in the last year or so, there's been this explosive growth in AI tools like ChatGPT and also these services like 11 Labs, who have the most realistic sounding text-to-speech generation services that I've ever heard. There's now a lot of videos on YouTube of people using these text-to-speech services and also websites that allow you to use the voices of celebrities or musicians to say whatever you want or even sing, and it usually sounds pretty convincing nowadays.
"I got lost in the grocery store and couldn't find my way out, but that's when I saw it, a glowing pistachio. It spoke to me and said, 'Follow me and I'll lead you to safety.'"
But these websites like 11 Labs didn't exist until 2022, and I've been making content since 2020, and my voice hasn't changed since then. The reason my voice probably sounds like a robot to some people is because everything I say is scripted, including this video, which I do for two main reasons. First, I can be a pretty bad mumbler, and I feel like when I script things out, that helps me communicate my points better. But second, and probably most important, it's because I want my content to stay short and on point. I've said this before, and I don't mean any offense to these creators, but I rarely have the time to sit down and watch a 30-minute or 40-minute YouTube video. I just have a lot of other things to do with my day, and so when I write down what I want to say, I feel like I'm less likely to go off script on some unrelated tangent. Ideally, with a few exceptions, I always like to keep my videos under 10 or 12 minutes, and I've always been under the impression that most people prefer this consolidated content that I make and that I don't consistently go off on some unrelated topic or repeat the same points over and over again in the same video. Scripting my videos does take a lot more time. I could just turn on my microphone and start rambling, but that's always felt sloppy to me. So this is why my voice probably sounds like a robot to some people. Next we have the Vigilant Atheist 7186, who says, "I like this guy's videos. They're well researched and put into a perspective that any old idiot can follow. What I can't figure out is why he isn't adding the names of all of these fake financial experts to the YouTube blocked words list. That would cut down on 90% of these bots and scammers, unless he just likes the artificial engagement that is driven by so many fake accounts making some BS comments on every single post. Or worse, he is behind them as well. These bots have been an ongoing issue on YouTube for years, and I'm not the only channel that's affected by them. If you watch almost any financial YouTube video, you'll see bots leaving fake comments. Even large outlets like CNBC have been experiencing this exact same issue. There's two kinds of fake accounts that exist. The first type are the ones that try to look like mine. They have the exact same channel icon in their profile picture, and they usually have Dividend Bull in their username. But ever since my channel was verified, these have been appearing less and less. The other type of fake accounts that are a much bigger issue now are the ones that look like normal people, but they aren't actually normal people. They're fake bots that are trying to scam people. The issue with these fake comments is that I just can't beat them. No matter how many fake comments I delete, more of them just take their place. I've banned certain users from commenting on my videos, which I know are bots, but it's pointless because these bots can just create new accounts and start posting the same stuff under different accounts. And since these bots don't need sleep, I just can't stop them all. You can make a list of banned words, which means that comments that contain any of these words are automatically deleted, which I still do, but for whatever reason, YouTube appears to limit the number of words you can ban. Now whenever I try to add more words to this banned word list, it doesn't save them. And the bots are still smart enough to figure out which words are banned and which words aren't banned, and it'll actually write new comments using words that aren't banned. It's really unfortunate that YouTube hasn't figured out a way to stop all of these bots from leaving comments. Removing them all would be a full-time job, and more would just keep taking their place after I delete them. As a general rule, I never communicate through WhatsApp or through text messaging. I also have nothing to do with cryptocurrencies or any specific financial advisors, so if someone's claiming to be me reaches out about these things, you'll know it's fake. Also, going back to the original comment, these fake comments left by these bots I don't believe promote my content any more than if they didn't comment. One of the most important ways YouTube recommends videos to people isn't by how many comments are left, it's by watch time. If people watch my videos for a longer period of time, YouTube will promote those videos to more people because the algorithm thinks that it's more engaging. So if you ever want to help my content out, not clicking away within the first few seconds helps, but rather letting the video run will help spread the information to more people. We'll look at one more comment today, which is from Brandon C., who says, "How the F is an investment channel calling 1 million unattainable for most people in their lives? You need 20 years of medium income invested in the market consistently while living frugally to get 1 million easy. H no unattainable. What are you, stupid?" If I'm understanding this comment correctly, it seems that Brandon believes that saving $1 million in the stock market isn't unattainable for most. In fact, I think this person's implying that it's actually not a difficult thing to achieve in someone's lifetime. I've said several times that saving $1 million for retirement is largely unattainable for the majority of people. And my reason for believing this comes from the stats, which aren't good. According to a NerdWallet article who referenced a report made by Vanguard, these are the average 401k balances by age in the US. For those 65 and older, the average balance is only $232,000, which is nowhere close to $1 million. And remember, this only includes people who have access to 401ks. Only 68% of Americans can participate in these plans, and even if you have access, not everyone chooses to participate in one or even has the money to participate in one. So I still believe that achieving $1 million retirement balance for the majority of people isn't achievable. If you think it's easy, then by all means, please prove me wrong and save $1 million. I'm just trying to be realistic, which maybe most people aren't used to seeing from financial YouTubers. Other channels might try to convince you that becoming wealthy is easy, so that way you'll watch their videos and subscribe to their channels. But the numbers don't lie. It is unlikely from a statistical standpoint that you'll have $1 million saved up for retirement if you're over the age of 40, unless you're a high-income earner, live frugally, and save like crazy. And this goes back to my channel's main point, which is that you don't need $1 million saved up to live off dividends. Holding higher yielding investments can provide you with enough income to live a good life without having $1 million. The balancing act, though, that exists is picking investments that offer a high yield, but without being overly risky, which can result in dividend cuts. If you happen to save $1 million or millions for retirement, then that's great, but I'd argue that you're pretty privileged. But anyways, that's going to wrap up today's video. Let me know if you'd like me to do this again, and I can make another one if there's the demand for it. But with that being said, thanks a lot for watching. If you're interested, feel free to check out my Patreon, where you'll find an Excel sheet of all of my holdings updated monthly. Plus, it'll give you access to our Discord channel, where we discuss higher yielding types of investments. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you liked what you saw, then feel free to hit that like button below and click subscribe if you want to see higher yielding investing strategy content. Again, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and until next time, take care.